like that.
All right, welcome Sanook. Take it away.
Hello and welcome. My name is Sanook Yoon, and I'm a rising senior serving as a Youth Leadership Council member with OurEcho International. I'm really excited to host this year's OurEcho Challenge final event, as I was a part of the finalist team back in 2021, and we won the People's Choice Award for the environmental droners. When I first entered the OurEcho Challenge, my organization was just a small idea, but now, after the support and community of OurEcho, I've been able to expand my organization to 8 different countries. This is such an amazing opportunity, and I hope everyone enjoys. And now, I'm proud to introduce the founder of OurEcho International, Philippe Cousteau. Hi, Philippe.
All right, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Welcome, everybody. I'm thrilled to be here. As you heard, I'm the founder of OurEcho International, and really excited for the announcement of the 2024 OurEcho Challenge winning teams. We're here today, of course, to celebrate these amazing teams, both from the United States and from the United Kingdom. And so a little bit about the OurEcho Challenge, for those of you that may not know a ton yet. The OurEcho Challenge is a program that's really designed to equip young change makers in the US and the UK to tackle the decline in biodiversity that is catastrophic, frankly, by identifying various different threats and proposing solutions to protect natural resources in their communities, because that's where it all starts, right? It starts in our backyards. It starts where we recognize how we can take action. And so it's really, an innovative competition, actually. It's designed to engage problem solvers. And that's the key here, problem solvers in protecting the diversity of species and ecosystems that make life on Earth possible. And really about helping them understand the agency and the power that they have to actually take action and affect positive change. So today is about highlighting those innovative solutions and recognizing some extraordinary young people and the work that they've done to lead up to this finalist round of the OurEcho Challenge. So we have teams here from both the United States and the United Kingdom, and they're competing for grants, actual, monetary grants to make their projects a reality. So in the UK, the prizes for third place is £1,000. The prize for second place is £2,500, and the prize for first place is £5,000, and then we also have a People's Choice Award. And in the US, third place is $1,000, second place $2,500, and first place $5,000, as well as a People's Choice Award. So real dollars and pounds to support these amazing projects, because that's really the idea of this. It's not just a conceptual contest, but an opportunity to actually turn these dreams into reality. I'd certainly like to thank our panel of expert judges, both from the US and the UK. You see them on the screen here. We have some really outstanding judges that participated and spent a lot of time thinking through and looking at the different teams and their proposals and their concepts and their ideas. And I know it was a lot of hard work. So we're really grateful to have had them participate in that. So let's get started. So back to you, man.
Thanks, Philippe. Let's get started by meeting the teams. We have so many amazing project proposals, ranging from butterfly gardens to hedgehog homes, innovations to clean waterways with algae, and making boats safer for the environment, as well as improving farmland to allow biodiversity and crops to thrive. We want to bring all the finalist teams on camera and ask them some questions, so we'll talk with them in small groups. The first group of teams are all about green innovation. They're working to improve the green spaces in their community in a variety of interesting ways. Green spaces provide numerous benefits, such as improved air quality, improved health for people, and of course, increased biodiversity. Back to you.
So that's right, Sanook. And even just a modest amount of native plants in an area, provide food, shelter, and of course nesting for local wildlife. And better than any non-native plants, because of course the wildlife in that community evolved with the plant life in that community, the flora and fauna, so to speak. So native plants are absolutely critical. For example, here in California, a lot of people plant butterfly bushes, but there's only a few kinds of bushes, milkweed, for example, for the monarch butterfly, where the actual caterpillar has evolved. It needs that plant. So for the whole life cycle of the butterfly, it needs those native plants. But monarch butterfly caterpillars won't feed on anything but milkweed. So even though the butterflies may feed on other plants, we need these native plants to provide the support for the life cycle of this wildlife. So let's welcome our teams and say hello. We've got some on camera here, and I'm going to ask a question. A couple of you, I believe, are going to be chiming in here. And the question is, each of you has proposed to improve biodiversity in your community by improving on green spaces. Can you tell us what inspired you to take this approach? And why don't we go to Team Rooting for Biodiversity from Poolesville Magnet High School in Poolesville, Maryland, first.
Thank you for that question. Our project diversity hubs were inspired by the lack of biodiversity in suburban areas around us in Maryland, but particularly in more impoverished areas. Our team is a part of the Global Ecology Program, so we were able to not only learn about biodiversity, but have hands-on connections with our native plants. Through this program, we were able to hike across Montgomery County, and we noticed that in the southern, more impoverished areas, there were less green spaces. And if those areas had access to green spaces, they would be filled with non-native plants. After some thinking and researching the luxury effect, a term coined by researcher Misha Leong, where wealthier areas often have more green spaces and more access to information, leading to more biodiversity, we realized that these communities in southern Montgomery County often had limited access to native green spaces and educational resources. Realizing this disparity pushed us to seek remedy for this problem. So we believe everyone deserves a chance to connect with nature and learn about environmental stewardship and native plants. That's why we decided to create our project Diversity Hubs, a community green space in Title I elementary schools with native plants and interactive educational tools.
Awesome. And I love how you looked for places, and that's a question that comes up a lot, is how do we engage in these communities? And starting in places where there's already gathering for young people, where there's already kind of communal space, and schools is a great place to do that. So very smart approach. Team Biogarden from Heathcote Sports and Science College in Greater London. Please, I think you have some thoughts about this as well.
Hey, what made us take this approach was that we feel that we're not only increasing the biodiversity, but we're also increasing the education of young people in the community.
And we have actually already started to implement our idea throughout our school. So a way in which we've done this is that, like in the DT department, for example, we are making bird and bat boxes with recycled wood from our school. And we're also going to use things like fruits from any trees we may plant or put in the garden to use in food tech to make food such as pies. So we're using it throughout the school for everyone, not just for a certain group.
We felt that we needed to take action sooner, so we included the neighbouring primary school, which we used to go to, and they played a big part in what inspired us to take this approach. We feel that they deserve an opportunity to see different animals and plants that may enter our biogarden, as levels have dropped massively in the last few years. This is why we chose this approach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, terrific approach looking at existing institutions and facilities, in this case, primary or elementary school. in your community. So terrific. Well, I am very excited to see how this unfolds because I don't know. So back to you, Sidhu.
Thank you. And the next team we want to introduce are Feeling Wing-Inspired. If you haven't guessed it already, these projects all support animals with wings, such as pollinators and birds. Pollinators play a vital role in plant reproduction, making them fundamental to supporting healthy ecosystems. As the number of pollinator species increases, the number of plant species they can support also increases.
Absolutely. And, while most people think of insects, right, when they think of pollinators, they don't realize that birds are very important pollinators as well. They're critical for things like seed dispersal, right? The birds eat the seeds. They don't always digest them, but they fly somewhere else and drop those seeds. And many plants, that feed on different variety of insects and rodents and other small animals naturally kind of keep these populations in check, ensure a proper balance in the ecosystem. So birds play a really critical role as well. So let's jump in. Let's check in with some of these teams as well. I think Team Monarchs matter. What are your solutions to help pollinators like butterflies and birds?
Thank you, Mr. Cousteau. Well, I have two solutions to help pollinators. And the first is distributing milkweed for youth to plant in their yards. Milkweed is the main plant that monarch larvae feed on, so it's crucial to support the monarch population by planting milkweed. We also plan to fund and guide youth environmentalists to build native gardens and monarch way stations in their schools and communities, which will not only support pollinators, but also raise awareness. And the second solution is raising, tagging, and releasing monarch butterflies with youth, which will provide tagging data to researchers for monarch monitoring research and to help the next generation connect with the environment and understand their role in biodiversity.
Amazing. Monarchs, as I mentioned earlier, they're just a great example of how you need the whole system to work, right? Not just some plants for the adult butterflies to feed on, but the whole system of plants that are dispersed by birds and that, is part of this wondrous tapestry of life. And if you remove any of those pieces, big problem. Very cool.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's all the research and the ideas that go into it. So I'm really proud of the work that you guys have formulated. And the next theme is actually really close to Philippe's heart, so I'll let him introduce it.
Indeed it is. All right. So this next group of teams are what we like to call tide turners. And their projects focus on all things water. Of course, water is something that's been a big part of my family's journey, specifically the ocean for, I guess 3 generations now, and starting on the 4th with my nieces and my little ones. And so it's something that's very close to our heart. I like to remember it was just about 75 years ago, my grandfather co-invented scuba diving and underwater cameras and started making underwater documentaries. And prior to that point, at least when it comes to the ocean, we knew very little about what existed beneath the waves. So, we've been in the water space for a long time, and it is indeed near and dear to my heart. So let's jump into a chat with some of the teams here. Our question, each of your proposed projects deal with improving the health of local waterways. So what was the inspiration for your project? And let's start with team evaluating microplastic pollution from Lake Mary in Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Cousteau, and thank you so much for the opportunity to speak here. So the first point on the inspiration for my project was the local impact that it has. So I've grown up with the St. Johns River in Florida, and I've gone there ever since I could remember. And after finding out that there's a microplastic problem, and then also finding out that there's no data on the microplastic problem, I realized that there's a huge need to find the solution to this, because if you don't identify the problem, then you're never going to be able to find a solution. And microplastics can cause so many diseases that are linked to cancer in humans, not just disrupting the biodiversity of like the ecosystem. So it's so important that we find a solution. So then that also proves that there's an environmental concern, which is my next point. And all the projects here, they all stem from a source of environmental concern. And for me, that would be that there's a lot of impact that microplastics have on both human life and taking away the biodiversity in the area because of how dangerous microplastics are. And then that leads me to my third part, which is that there's a scientific curiosity. All the projects here have a sort of scientific curiosity. And for me, that would be trying to find a solution to the microplastic issue, which is ferrofluids or an iron oxide solution dissolved in some kind of liquid that can be put into the water and then taken out with a magnet to try and take away all the microplastics. And then also additionally for like trying to advocate for people that, hey, there's a problem in our microplastics in our bodies of water and that it can be solved through these kinds of solutions, and kind of telling people that since there's a problem that needs to be solved, we can come together to find a solution. And this is also, it can be implemented worldwide, which is so important because people in impoverished areas, if they don't have advocacy or education that there's an issue, they'll never be able to find a solution, and people can't come together and work with them on a solution. And all the projects here have a sort of scientific curiosity, and I'm so glad that we can come together and kind of fix a worldwide problem and to have the platform to try and fix it. So thank you.
No, thank you. And that's just what this is all about, problem solving, right? There's an endless stream of bad news in the world, and sometimes it feels like it's all overwhelming and we should just shut down. There's nothing we can do about it. And that's just not the case. So terrific. So Team Sheffield Rivers from Sheffield High School in South Yorkshire, in England. What are your thoughts?
Hello, thank you for the question. So we're already incredibly aware of the health of our rivers. Sheffield alone as a city has 5 major rivers, so it's something that we're often walking or driving past throughout the city. Also, a popular pastime here is actually swimming in our wild bodies of water. So that's another aspect in which we're incredibly invested in their health. Quite early on in brainstorming this project, we realised that water bodies are vital for biodiversity in all ecosystems, as plants and animals depend on water for their survival, obviously. So by ensuring a clean water supply, both aquatic and terrestrial biodiversity will be able to thrive.
Finally, when we were researching more specific topics for our project, we came across an article that was talking about the river Ganga in India. We found that the river had remarkable self-sustaining abilities and had been very resilient to human activity for a great many years. Upon further research, we discovered that much of this was due to the algae present in the river. And we knew sort of immediately that this was the kind of project we want to see implemented to help sustain our own remarkable rivers' biodiversity and keep them healthy for future generations.
Awesome. This, as I'm sure everybody watching can attest to and feels the same way. This event is one of my favorite events of the year that we do, and it's because of this, right? Because of the innovation, the stories, the optimism, and the solution problem-solving focus that is at the core of this. And it just reminds us that there's so much we can all do to be a part of the solution. Team Jazzing Up Jordan Lake from North Carolina, give us a little insight into why you chose waterways as your project, as the focus of your project.
Hi, yeah, I'd love to talk about this. Thank you for the question. So for some context, my project focuses on a local reservoir called Jordan Lake, which has been experiencing eutrophication or excessive nutrient levels for several years now. And so Jordan Lake has been an integral part of my childhood, and some of my fondest memories are of being at the lake with my family, playing in the water, and just enjoying the scenery. And so along with my personal connection to the lake, I also drew inspiration from watching the many species of the lake interacting with their ecosystem. I've always been super passionate about wildlife, and I realized that this was the perfect opportunity for me to apply my skills and experience to protect a place that was so impactful, not just for me, but for all these species that relied on the lake. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Love it. All right. So let's keep moving on here. again, all of these summarize this idea that water, no matter where we live, on the coast or otherwise, is integral to our lives, our health, the health of our communities and the environment, and in many cases, also just a really important part of our joy. So thank you for that story. All right, so back to you, Snook, to keep us going.
And our next set of teams projects all focus on Indigenous innovation. These teams have really focused on the engineering design process to come up with their project ideas. And I was actually a part of this group in the past. And what I did was I started using drones to film highly polluted areas in my community. And then with the footage I posted on social media, went to government officials and tried to raise awareness about these issues. And then after I located all this trash, I started hosting cleanups, and we cleaned over 5 tons of trash in my city. And then I partnered with East Carolina University to create Litter Locator, which is a global app that promotes global collaboration through documenting litter wherever you are. And then lastly, I started teaching kids virtually in multiple countries to help them pursue their passions as leaders in their own communities to create their own organizations with our mentorship. And OurEcho has been there to support me along the way. And I'm sure they'll be here for you guys as well. And I'm really excited to hear from this year's group. Back to you, Philippe.
So it's that's a great point that OurEcho is here to support you, and we hope that this is the beginning, not the end of our partnership. Let's put it that way with you all in supporting this work. So I have a question for this next group. These ideas are really innovative and can be complex. What do you think is going to be the most rewarding result if your project succeeds? And let's go to Team Jallo from London, and who, by the way, are sisters. We got a team of sisters here. What do you think is the most rewarding part of this? Should you all be successful in winning one of the prizes?
Hi, thank you for the question. Apart from the fact that I believe our project will reduce the amount of overflowing rubbish and therefore directly increase the biodiversity in our local area, I also believe that pride of our community will grow, because with reducing the amount of overflowing rubbish, I believe that people will be more willing and inclined to show and share their love for the community that they grew up with. I believe that living in London and living in anywhere, really, we should all be grateful for, and we should be able to share our love for our community freely without feeling ashamed of where we live, no matter how the outside appearance may look. And I believe with reducing the amount of rubbish and therefore increasing the biodiversity, that there'll be more animals who are willing to go out and live in a safer and cleaner environment. And that will make it look more aesthetically pleasing, but also safer for the animals and also for the humans and citizens in our community.
Well, you bring up such an important point about this idea that so often we separate ourselves from nature. We kind of think of it as this other thing, and yet it's all around us. And when it's, our communities and wildlife and nature and the outdoors is degraded, so are we. And there's just this integral connection between the health of nature and the health of our communities and ourselves, mental health and physical health. Bravo. Snook, back to you, buddy. We got a couple more teams to meet. Let's keep this moving.
That's right. And the final teams we'll talk about are holistic harmony. They have taken an approach that includes a number of biodiversity plans.
So, holistic environmental sustainability is an approach actually that considers what I was just talking about, is the interconnectedness of various aspects of the environment and how we actually balance environmental well-being. So I've got a question for our group from Wales. Your project ideas really encompass all aspects of a healthy ecosystem by involving multiple tiers of biodiversity. How did you come up with such a complex plan? And this is for Henry Richard team from, how do I pronounce that one? The Welsh words are sometimes hard for me. Isgol?
Oscar.
Oscar. Close. Henry Richard School in Tregaron.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not even going to try the other one. Wales. What is that? Ceredigion?
Ceredigion.
It's close. I was close that time. All right. How'd you come up with your concepts?
Well, thanks for the question. So, so we use a scientific method. We went to our fields and we explored what was there, and we saw there's a lack of biodiversity. We went back and researched how could we improve biodiversity. We discovered an action plan within the Welsh Sustainable Farming Scheme, which is both productive for farming and for biodiversity. From here, we formed a hypothesis that by increasing the number of plant species that benefits farming, we'll be able to see an increase in measurable biodiversity. Our action plan has 3 different strands. Firstly, to induce herbal layers, which are working wildflower meadows. Secondly, to build up more hedgerows, which provide an overall increase in biodiversity. And also, we can build insect hotels in our DT department, place them along a hedgerow, and then we could see an increase in pollinating species.
From here, using the scientific method, we measure all these results, biologic sampling, and using a sheet to measure the results.
Diolch. Thank you.
Thanks, Diolch. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, farming is such a critical part and, can go both ways, right? I mean, historically, we've gotten away from the sense of holistic farming, and one might even say regenerative farming in communities, to one that is heavily monocultured and governed, and lots of pesticides and herbicides and all these other things, and doesn't provide space for wildlife, which ultimately is critical, right? Pollinators. We need to pollinate our plants. They do that for free. That's just one example of how important building this more holistic approach to farming is. So anyway, everyone has such amazing projects. I must say best of luck to all the finalists. So without further ado, let's move on to the moment that we've all been waiting for. Sanook.
What amazing projects. We congratulate all of the finalist teams who participated in the challenge. We know that their passion and dedication will inspire others to take action for a sustainable future for all. In the moment we've been waiting for, let's announce the winning teams. I want to remind our viewers that we have top winning teams in both the UK and the USA. So Philippe, I'll pass the honors to you.
All right, buddy. So we're going to start with the People's Choice Award, which is the one that Sanook, you won, and have done such extraordinary work with. And we were just up in Boston. Sanook joined me to give a speech to the New England Aquarium. So again, this is a really important award and is a recognition of great work. And again, the beginning of a journey of y'all being part of our family. So we are going to start with the People's Choice Award, as I said, and these are the teams that the public has voted on for the past month. We had close to 4,000 votes. So let's meet the teams that everybody voted for. And the UK team, winner of the People's Choice Award, is Team Sparrows. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very excited. Congratulations. That's awesome. For the UK team. Wonderful. I'm very excited for you. And like I said, I hope this continues just the beginning of our working to support all the great work that you've done. So let's jump into the USA team. Team Monarchs Matter. Congratulations. You won. I mean, 4,000 votes came in here, folks. So that's pretty impressive for the People's Choice Award. Thank you so much for the terrific work that you did. And congratulations on the People's Choice.
Thank you so much.
And now to announce the top teams who will be awarded grants to implement their biodiversity work in their communities. We're going to start with our third place winning team in the UK. Which is being awarded to, drumroll, Team BioGarden. Congratulations, you're being awarded a grant of £1,000 to implement your fantastic project. We're so excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Me.
All right, now for the third place winning team in the US. Bitter Aiders. All right, congratulations. You are going to be awarded $1,000 and $1,000 grant to continue your work. So terrific. We're really proud of you. Excited. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And now on to our second place winning teams in the United Kingdom. The second place award goes to Team Verdant Vale Guardians. Congratulations, both of you. You'll be awarded a grant of £2,500 to start work on your incredible project. So we're really excited for you, and I can't wait to see all the great things you're going to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, for the second place team in the United States. This is fun. I don't know ahead of time, folks, who's winning. So I'm learning all this, unwinding as we all see it ourselves. For the second place winning team in the US.
Thank you so much.
All right, congratulations. Amazing. So you'll be awarded a grant of $2,500 to implement your project and keep rocking and rolling. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Near and dear to my heart, the Monarchs too. And finally, we're going on to the first place teams, the top winning first place teams. We're going to go for the grand prize of £5,000 in the UK goes to Henry Richards.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. That the amazing thinking, that complex thinking, the whole thing was awesome. So congratulations to you both. You'll be getting that grant to continue your work. We're really excited for you and can't wait to see all the great things that come from it. And then finally, the grand prize in the United States from our panel of judges for $5,000 goes to Team Marine Guard. Congratulations, man. $5,000 grant to you. We're very excited. Thank you for putting such a great project together. And we're so thrilled to see all the amazing things that are going to come from that. So congratulations to all the winning team, to all of your teams. You all are an inspiration to us every day. I spend a lot of time traveling around the world and dealing with a lot of challenges and fighting for the health of our ocean and to get laws passed and do all these things. And sometimes it can be pretty disheartening. But it's moments like this when we get to see the extraordinary innovation and dreaming and optimism that you all bring to this sense of problem solving. And if there's anything we want people to walk away from, the whole vision of the OurEcho Challenge is this idea that we are not just passive participants in the world, but we can be active participants. And when we see problems, we can take steps to take action to solve them. And that journey is so important. We all have agency. We all have power. Don't ever let anybody think or make you think that that's not the case, because there are organizations like us at OurEcho that are here to support you for the winners of the prizes or not. You're part of our team. We have resources and tools and networks that we are just beginning to plug you into, and we're so grateful for all the time that you put into this. Wow. So Sanook, you want to wrap things up for us?
Sure. Congrats, everyone. Congrats to all the winners and those who made it this far. It is truly an honor, and I'm sure that everyone watching is inspired and proud of your work. And continue to follow your passion. I guarantee that you will make a difference. And here at OurEcho International, we are building a global youth movement to protect and restore our ocean planet. We invite you all to join us and follow our work. If you are a young person interested in taking action in your community, we encourage you to join OurEcho's Gen C online community and visit joingenc.org to learn more. And stay tuned next year when we'll open the OurEcho Challenge for entries again. You could be a part of this incredible opportunity to restore biodiversity in your own backyard. We'd like to thank our program sponsor. The OurEcho Challenge is made possible through the support of Aramco. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring.